What is up, Sopranos fans? Kino here. I'm back with another Soprano log, and today we're looking at the 12th episode of the third season, Amour Fou, or as Tony says it, Amour Fou, which translates to crazy love, which we can definitely see going on in this episode, so let's jump into things. The episode opens with Carmela and Meadow going to an art museum. Carmela has to borrow a tampon from Meadow because she's spotting, which she fears either means she has ovarian cancer or she's pregnant. Both outcomes she's very fearful about. She gets very emotional at seeing this painting of a very innocent baby. Later on, she gets emotional again seeing a commercial for a dog food brand. So she's getting very emotional at the idea of young babies or innocent creatures. And the reason for that is because she thinks that she might be pregnant, and she's very conflicted about, her life ever since she saw the psychiatrist. So she goes to see another priest. This priest is getting a doctorate in psychology as well, and talks to him about her fears. She fears that she is going to hell because of what she's done to support Tony and his illegal activity, and she fears bringing another life into their life of crime. The priest tells her that she can't leave Tony, but instead she needs to, set her boundaries and only live off the money that Tony makes that she's comfortable with, which, is just not going to work at all. You can't compartmentalize that kind of stuff. But again, the Catholic Church is all about the family staying together and being against divorce. So this is his best solution. It's the complete opposite of what the therapist she saw told her. And that seemed like much better advice, much more practical advice for her to leave Tony. But this lets her keep on living her wealthy life, so this is the advice she chooses to go with instead. And then when she goes to see a doctor, the doctor is able to confirm that she doesn't have cancer, she's not pregnant, she just has a small thyroid condition. So she's fine, and like a lot of things on this show, she chooses to continue to live her life in a way that makes her comfortable. Meanwhile, Tony continues to see Gloria. We're seeing an erratic side to her. She's complaining to Tony about all the things that's going on in her life. And of course, in typical Tony fashion, he's not really listening. He just kind of wants to talk about his own problems. But we see how kind of manic she is. She goes from incredibly depressed to happy again. And we're just seeing another side to her behavior. One night when they're together, her tires are slashed. And Tony thinks that it might have been his ex-girlfriend, Irina. This really pisses her off when he's, defending her, and it leads to a big fight between the two of them. Later, she sees Carmela at the dealership and decides to give Carmela a ride home so she can kind of learn more about Carmela. And also, she's trying to provoke Tony with this. So when she's in the car with Carmela, she's talking to her, asking questions. She starts speeding and, driving really erratically. And then she's kind of subtly mocking Carmela, hinting that she's just a homemaker. She doesn't have any independence, unlike her. So we can just see how crazy she really is. When Tony learns about this, he's absolutely furious that she talked to his wife. He storms down there and drags her into her office. And there's a great little detail we can see is when he slams her against the wall, she licks her lips. She's turned on by this conflict. She very much intentionally wanted to make Tony angry, and we'll see why a little bit later. But yeah, just crazy, like a moth drawn to a flame. She's looking for conflict. But he breaks up with her because he realizes how unstable she is and that she's going to get him caught. Later, she calls him sobbing and, begs him to come over, which he does. He tries to break up with her really gently, but she flips out, starts yelling at him. And he realizes then that she reminds him of his mother. She says, "Oh, poor you. She's this black pit of darkness." And Tony sees that she's exactly like his mother. She threatens to tell his family about the two of them if he leaves her. And this leads to a huge fight. It gets really physical. He slams her onto the ground and is choking her, about to kill her. And she's begging him to do it. She's like, "Kill me, kill me." She wants to die by his hands. She's suicidal. But Tony manages to restrain himself and he leaves. Later, he sends Patsy to go intimidate her. He tells her that if she ever tries to contact Tony or his family, he's the one who's going to kill her, not Tony. So he's basically saying, even if you want to die at Tony's hands, that's not going to happen. I'm going to be the one who's going to do it. You're never going to interact with Tony again. Just trying to dissuade her from doing anything stupid and trying to, provoke Tony into killing her. The last little storyline happening in this episode is Jackie Jr. and Dino talk to Ralph. They learn from him that the way that Tony and Jackie's father got, respect and attention is they robbed Feech LaManna's card game. Now, we learned about this in Season 2 from Richie Aprile, and of course, in Season 5, we're going to actually meet Feech. But again, this is a plot detail that they've been establishing for a while. And they decide that, they want respect too. They're nothing right now. They've been humiliated time and time again. And they decide to step up and rob a card game in order to get attention. And they actually decide to rob Ralph's card game, even though they're kind of working for him right now. So they bust in on the game. Christopher and Furio are playing there. The dealer, Sunshine, who we met in Season 2, is heckling the robbers. He's just kind of mocking them. After a tense kind of standoff, Jackie ends up shooting the guy in the chest and killing him. This leads to a big shootout. Furio is shot into confusion. Jackie and Dino manage to get out of the building, but their driver, who I just realized is Matouche, so they got him to drive for them. And of course, he's not really sympathetic to Jackie, so when he hears the gunshots going off, he drove off and left them. So they're stranded there. Jackie manages to hijack a car and get away, but Dino is captured and they execute him. They end up calling Dr. Freed, the Jewish penis doctor that we met in Season 2, to patch Furio up. So we can see that, that's his relationship with the mob, and that's why he can attend these card games and stuff, is because he does favors for these guys when they need a medical assistance. So later, Tony and Ralph meet to discuss Jackie Jr. They discuss the possibility of giving him a pass, but the subtext of the scene is that they both realize that Jackie's going to have to die, but they're trying to push the blame onto each other. Neither one of them wants to be the one to make the decision, because they were friends with his father, and it's complicated by all these personal relationships. Each one wants the other one to give the order, but Tony manages to be a little bit more manipulative, and he basically pushes the blame all onto Ralph and says, it's your decision, and basically reminds him of how humiliated he'll be if this kid managed to disrespect him like that and get away with it. So at the end, Ralph is the one who has to, take care of Jackie, which again is complicated by the fact that he's dating his mother. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Jackie next episode, the Season 3 finale. I'm so excited to review that, and stay tuned for that Soprano log coming soon.